You played varsity for 4 years. Your freshman year, you were moved up after a tournament. So you played 3.5 years with varsity. So right off the bat, you know, the previous coach that moved her up knew that she was going to be a contributor. And she did for all 3.5 years. She's a very unassuming player since I've been coaching her. You know, you look at her, and you know, she's not the tallest, not the biggest, not the strongest, but she gets the job done when you know, whatever you ask for, she gets it done. Always giving them practice, always getting the girls together, great leader. Both captains were great leaders. They basically were the glue to this team. Anytime I got in trouble with the team, or sorry, when the team got in trouble with me, I would approach them and talk to them about, you know, how's the team feeling, you know, is there anything I can do, anything you guys can do. So we had great communication in that sense. I think my job was a lot easier this year because you were there. Both of you guys were there. Okay. Isabel Glenn, I told you, you were one of the most amazing players this year. You played, I think, in your career, all 6 positions on the court in the matches that you've played. So that's an incredible feat. Not everybody can do that. Okay, so would you please come up and take the stand for me?
It's funny to think that as a kid, I couldn't even pronounce the name of the sport to which I've become so dedicated. I first tried volleyball in 5th grade, playing on my grade school's developmental team. The next year, in addition to the school team, I joined my first volleyball club team, launching me into what would be 5 years of late-night practices, road trips, and multi-day tournaments that my fellow club players and parents and audience know all too well. Between my different club and school teams, I've had dozens of teammates and coaches and experienced a variety of team dynamics. However, my 4 years playing for university have stood out among all the others. The friendships I've made and lessons I've learned during my time with the team have made the experience one I will take with me long past my high school graduation. Coming into university, I knew that the varsity team had had a strong last few years, with team members featuring two future D1 athletes and many other star players. I was also aware of the fact that 4 of their starting 6 had graduated in the spring, giving me a glimmer of hope that I could actually make varsity my first year. But those dreams were short-lived, as I was put on JV after just a few days of tryouts. Despite my initial disappointment, however, joining JV was truly a blessing in disguise. Not only did it humble my naive 14-year-old self, but it also allowed me to bond with my fellow freshman classmates. I had such a good time on JV that when the varsity coach asked me to move up right before the start of the league play, I was kind of disappointed that I'd be leaving all my new friends and teammates. But of course, the opportunity to play with all the older girls was way too exciting to pass up. Now, as every UHS athlete knows, a team truly bonds during the first few weeks of the season, thanks in large part to joint events like overnights and team dinners. Having missed the crucial initial few weeks and being the lone freshman, I could have easily felt isolated from the rest of the varsity team. However, everyone was nothing but kind and welcoming to me, and the added encouragement and support I received from a few specific teammates gave me all the confidence I needed to feel like I truly belonged. I knew that when I became an upperclassman, I wanted to serve as the same friend and role model for my younger teammates as those girls had been for me. My sophomore year, the varsity team was entirely different. Despite having only graduated 2 seniors, several players from the previous season had decided not to return in the fall. Furthermore, we had a new coaching team with the hiring of Key Choi as the head coach and Berto Chui as the assistant. Fortunately, I had the pleasure of playing on Key's club team the previous spring, so I knew my teammates and I were in good hands. The season featured some thrilling victories, such as our NCS win over undefeated St. Vincent de Paul and Petaluma, as well as heartbreaking losses like our defeat in the first round of state to Notre Dame and Salinas. However, we ended the season with optimism, knowing that our young team had enormous potential, and we were right. My junior year, our team won the BCL West after a 3-year drought, and then the NCS title for the first time since 2003. We were also placed in Division II for state, a controversial choice among our team, but ultimately a huge nod from the state tournament organizers for what was our most successful season in years. And finally, we arrived at this most recent season. The final high school season for me and my 4 fellow seniors. In August, we knew this team would be different from last year's. Berto had become our new head coach, we graduated our 2 setters, and one of our starters was out with an injury. However, I think it's safe to say that we defied all expectations this year in clinching the BCL West title for a 2nd year in a row. And even though we didn't make it as far as in previous seasons, this specific team was one of the most supportive groups of girls I've ever been a part of. Though we represent different grades, friend groups, and interests, on the court it never seemed to matter. I feel truly honored to have been a captain of such a resilient, hardworking, and tightly knit team. I want to end by thanking all my teammates for such an amazing season. This experience wouldn't have been what it was without every single one of you. I especially want to thank Maddie Dowd for being the best co-captain I could have possibly asked for. For those of you who don't know, I've known Maddie since I was 5 years old, having attended the same K-8 school before UHS. We also started our volleyball careers on that same developmental team that I mentioned earlier, so it is only fitting that I had her by my side for my final high school season. And of course, I have to express my deep appreciation for my coaches, Berto and Anna, and also Key, who's here, but who have been important mentors to me both this season and in the years before. Volleyball, and especially UHS volleyball, has been such a significant part of my life, and I'm so sad that this chapter has come to an end. I urge all the freshmen, sophomore, and junior athletes in the room, regardless of your sport, to savor every moment on your respective teams. Though I quiver at the thought of reliving freshman year, I take the opportunity to play on the UHS volleyball team one more time in a heartbeat. Thank you.